So this is going to be a math question.
Okay.
All right. So it says on this question,
No.
they're not really sure what kind of shape this is, but they're supposed to figure out the volume.
Okay, I can take that. I'm actually going to pull that up on my computer. And the reason why I'm doing that is it's always really helpful to have that figure so you can kind of play around with it a little bit or just to look at it a lot. So I'm going to find that really quick. And I'm going to copy it onto my page. Okay, I got it. So first of all, since you weren't really sure about what this figure was called, and it's actually really important that you know what the figure is called because it's not always going to be just shown to you. It might refer to this type of shape. If you think about, this is a triangular prism. And it's probably pretty obvious where
I think they were on my...
Oh, were they on yours?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, now it's
okay.
Okay.
That's a triangular prism. I'm
Was it
like
on
looking at it, I'm like,
trapezoid?
that's not a triangular prism. I don't know what. Sorry.
All right, so this is a triangular prism
There
now.
we go.
So the triangular part is pretty obvious in that we have this triangular shape right here. The prism part, where that really comes in is kind of if you think about, actually let me just do this. Yeah. This shape right here, if you can imagine this triangle being stacked on top of itself over and over and over again until it makes this shape, you notice both of the bases are the exact same shape. I have a triangle on one end, I have a triangle on the other end. Those are identical. So that's what makes the triangular prism shape. You might be familiar with some other prism shapes, like this isn't going to be perfect, but this would be an example of I shouldn't have been bothered with these boxes anymore. They always end up taking longer. This is also a prism. This is oh, that's terrible. Where are the lines? Okay, well, I'll just do this. So this is a square prism, again, because it just maintains that shape. That looks really weird on the screen I'm seeing now. It maintains that shape throughout. So again, any kind of shape, we can talk about triangular prisms, rectangular prisms, trapezoidal prisms, really any polygon can form a prism shape. So we have a very general equation for the volume of a prism, and it looks like this. And I always teach my students this very generic equation. And the reason is because we could write volume formulas for multiple different figures, and it just becomes, I don't know, this big task to remember all these formulas for different shapes. So I always use this formula, volume equals area of the base times the height. So when we talk about this, I'm gonna rewrite this out. B is area of the base, and H is height of the, we'll say, prism. And this is the one thing that gets really, it kind of throws students off a lot. The capital H is height of the prism. It is not height of the triangle. So let me show this. So find my pen. So this is the height of that, kind of think of that solid object. This throws students off because you typically think of height as bottom to top. If you were to flip this and lay it on the triangle, then that would be the height of the object. And we also have a height of a triangle right here. So that capital H, think that's the height of your solid, and the area of the base is going to include the height of the triangle. So again, the reason why I do this is now I can come over here and say, well, what am I going to use for B, or the area of the base? Well, this shape is a triangle right here. That's what's kind of making this shape look like this. And if you remember, the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. And again, it's confusing because we have capital B, we have lowercase b, but think capital B is area of the base, lowercase b, we're talking about just the triangle. So I like to rewrite this, and the reason why I like to kind of substitute and rewrite with this back into my equation without solving that first is because as you get a little further and you're solving for different components or different variables in this, it's a little easier to have the entire equation written out. So now we say volume equals, and I'm literally just copying everything. I'm just saying 1/2 area of the base times the height. That's this going into here. And I'll put that in parentheses so we don't get it mixed up. And then times the height of the object. Again, the reason why I do this is it kind of reduces the chance of errors when you're trying to move things around. And also you can kind of take a quick glance at it and make sure that you have the right formula kind of input there. And then literally all you need to do is just plug in a bunch of numbers. So we're looking for the volume, and that's 1/2. And the base of this triangle right here is 19. So we'll do 1/2 times 19. And then the height of the triangle, again, not to be confused with the height of the object, is 24. And then we're actually going to use the height of the solid, which is 47. So times 47. And then this really just comes back down to simplification using, PEMDAS. We're just trying to simplify and figure this out. So we're going to say volume equals, and just a little trick here, anytime you have a fraction in here, think about what you can multiply by easiest. I'm going to say volume is, I'm going to do this operation first, because 1/2 of 24 is a lot easier than 1/2 of 19. And so I'm going to say that that's 12 times 19 times 47, and now I'm just going to punch this in a calculator because I have a
Why
calculator.
not?
Yeah. So 12 times 19, oh, some writing on there. 19 times 47. So 12 times 19 times 47, volume equals 10,716 centimeters cubed. So that's really all you need to do, and I think the trickiest part of here is remembering the formulas and kind of thinking about, a lot of students get hung up on what the base is. They look at this and think the base is a rectangle because it's kind of, it looks like it's laying on the floor. But any of these objects, think about like what is that main shape, like the triangle that's making up this solid, and think about like if you were to flip that, you could lay that, and that would now be the base. So
Makes
if it helps.
sense. Makes sense.